Hi, it's Greg Jackson, sports editor with Fayette and advertiser here in Fayette, Missouri. Back to you with another video blog for On the Sidelines. This time we're going to kind of dive more into conference standings since some of the conference races are starting to kind of heat up and maybe separate some teams a little bit. First, we'll talk about the Lewis and Clark Conference as well as the Central Activities Conference, and then after that, we'll kind of discuss some of the big games that are coming up this week. First, with the Lewis and Clark Conference, we'll go on the boys' side. One of the big deciding games in the past week, and who's going to stand alone at the top, was between Fayette and Salisbury. Both teams were undefeated heading into that game. Salisbury's 2-0, Fayette 4-0, and Salisbury came away with a 74-64 win. That leaves Salisbury at the top with a 3-0 record. Fayette drops to 4-1, still in second place by themselves in conference play. Take a look at the rest of the conference. Paris, with a 2-2 record, they won at Slater. Both their conference wins have been against Slater, so that puts them in third place in the Lewis and Clark. West Strand with a 1-2 record, they got their first conference win Tuesday against Paris. Slater with a 1-4 record, and also Marceline at the bottom with an 0-2 record. Again, that's pretty deceiving because I consider Marceline to probably be the third best team in Lewis and Clark. Their two losses are to the top two teams, losing to Salisbury at home earlier in the year and then losing Monday night at home against Fayette. So, again, as they still have 8 more conference games to go, as things pick up, I see them kind of making big leaps, and I think by the time it's all said and done, Marceline's going to be in third place. On the girls' side, Salisbury girls are now 3-0 after that 46-29 win over Fayette Friday night. So they're alone, only undefeated team left in Lewis and Clark in conference play. Paris 3-1. I don't believe they've yet played Salisbury. So they're in second place by themselves with just one loss. If Fayette with that loss drops from second to third place halfway through the conference season, they have a 3-2 record. Pretty impressive for Fayette considering last year they went 0-10 in Lewis and Clark. On the bottom half, you have West Strand with a 1-2 record. Slater 1-4, and that's going to be one of the losses that will lead away at Mike James if the conference race does come down pretty close, because Slater's one win thus far was against a shorthanded Fayette team back in December. And at the bottom, also on the girls' side, just like the boys, you got Marceline at 0-2. They're probably in the top 3 in this conference very easily. Those 2 losses coming against Salisbury and Fayette at home. Moving over to Central Activities Conference, I know there's some pretty big shakeups at the top because you had some pretty big games this past week. And much similar to Lewis and Clark, you got the same team on the boys and girls side at the top. On the boys side, you got Sturgeon with a 4-0 record. They picked up wins this past week over Glasgow and New Franklin at home. Only beat New Franklin 54-52 at home in a very close game, but still undefeated alone at the top. Cairo boys. They dropped their first conference game Friday night with a loss, an overtime loss at home to Glasgow, who is 3-1 in conference play after that loss to Sturgeon early in the week. So those are your top 3 teams on the boys' side. New Franklin boys right in the middle at 2-2. Madison with a 2-3 conference record. Brunswick at 1-4, and Keatsville at 0-5. Although the Tigers did pick up 2 wins in the New Franklin tournament, so they are 2-8 this season. On the girls, Sturgeon girls are 4-0. They doubled up New Franklin Friday night, 50-25. Glasgow right behind them. Again, Glasgow's only loss this season in conference play was at Sturgeon on Tuesday, but they bounced back with a 42-15 win over Cairo, who dropped to 3-2 and is number 3 in the conference standings now behind those 2 teams. New Franklin, like on the boys' side, right in the middle of the pack with the 2-2 conference record. Their 2 losses were at home to Cairo and on the road to Sturgeon. Brunswick and Madison are tied with a 2-3 conference record, and Keatsville girls still looking for that first win of the year with an 0-5 conference record. I would go into the Mid-Missouri Conference, but really those teams have only played 1, maybe 2 conference games. We'll kind of go more to those conference standings here in the next few weeks when they start playing each other more. With that conference, since there's only 5 teams, there's 8 conference games, so each conference game is really important in the standings. And Cooper County Activities Association, they don't begin conference play until after the conference tournament, so late January and all of February. So right now there is no conference standings. Taking a look at big games this week, Tonight's game, Monday night, Harrisburg at Fayette, a big non-conference battle, particularly on the boys' side. You ever know how this might affect district seedings, especially if Fayette is able to kind of get back and even the score with a win against Harrisburg. If you remember, these two teams met in the third-place game of the Glasgow tournament. Harrisburg came with a 73-72 overtime win on a Buddy Proctor layup with 3 or 4 seconds to go. Very good game. Both of these teams have gotten much better since that, and it's kind of hard to kind of match them up based on that because Fayette's added a few more players to the roster. And again, Harrisburg, if they start shooting lights out from 3 like they have been earlier this season, it could be anyone's game. And on the girls' side, it hasn't been much of a contest in the past. I expect it to be a little bit better this year. I mean, Fayette just, I would consider it a really big moral victory for Fayette if they can keep this game from getting to a running clock. Harrisburg is just that far and above most other teams in the area. And at this point, it's a non-conference game. If Fayette girls have come out of this with a loss, I mean, that's something that they can easily just shake off heading into the rest of that. And they have the rest of the week off heading into the Slater tournament. Tuesday night, I'll be going up to Glasgow, New Franklin at Glasgow in a conference match. We'll see how New Franklin boys bounce back from that close game against Sturgeon and Glasgow. Finally getting some home games this week, and that's going to be very big for them because that'll be able to boost their record heading into that Slater tournament. On the girls' side, I'm really kind of curious to see this matchup again. I know these two teams met in the semifinals of the Glasgow tournament, and Glasgow won 41-28. Really curious to see Nikki Fillmore and Jasmine Boggs going head-to-head again. I mean, they're going to be doing this their entire high school careers, and really, that's going to be the marquee matchup of the night. And then on Thursday, we've got two great games. I might have to flip a coin to see where I'm going Thursday night. One of them is going to be Salisbury at Glasgow. As I said, Glasgow's picking up some home games. They're picking up some crucial ones. Salisbury head coach Kenny Wyatt was really complimentary of the Yellow Jackets on the radio Friday night. I'll be curious to see how Glasgow wants to match up against Salisbury in this one. And on the girls' side, I think this is a pretty even matchup. And if the Glasgow girls are able to come away with a win, that would be extremely huge. Again, non-conference game, you got Class 1 against Class 2 schools, but that would be a major confidence boost heading into that Slater Wildcat Classic for Glasgow. And then in the Missouri Conference, you got Harrisburg girls at Hallsville. And like I said, there's only 8 games, so every one of these games counts. And if the Harrisburg girls go on the road and steal this win, they are in the driver's seat in the conference game because if they're able to sweep Hallsville, in my mind, they have locked up conference play. And if they get a win Thursday night, that'd be huge. And also Friday night, you got the Harrisburg boys going to Hallsville. And I really see these two teams being fairly evenly matched. And I'll be kind of curious to see how they match up. And it's going to be a brutal week for Harrisburg. They got Fayette on Monday, Fatima at home on Tuesday, and then they've got Hallsville at home on Friday. So great week of games. And we'll keep you updated on the blog throughout the week, letting you know how these contests go and how everything shapes out this week. So again, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys later.